Imagine a perfectly ordinary afternoon. People walk down busy streets, coffee in hand, bikes glide past, dogs pull on their leashes, and children toss balls in the air. Everything behaves exactly as gravity intends. Down is down, up is up, and nothing questions the invisible force keeping the world anchored. But then, in a moment, no one anticipates something impossible happens. Gravity, everywhere on Earth, turns off. Not weakens, not trembles, not briefly glitches. It stops. For 10 seconds, the most fundamental force experienced by every living thing simply vanishes. The first second is disbelief. Objects behave strangely, a pen slips upward from someone's hand, dust begins floating like shimmering pollen, a paper cup drifts off a table. People instinctively reach for balance only to find their feet rising from the ground. Those who were walking suddenly swim through the air, propelled by their own momentum. By the second, confusion erupts into chaos. Cars lift off roads like balloons cut loose from strings. The coffee someone was sipping becomes a sphere of brown liquid drifting aimlessly. A cyclist, mid-turn, launches upward in a slow, graceful arc. Birds flap desperately, confused by a sky that suddenly offers no resistance. Pets tumble weightlessly in the air, legs kicking without contact. By the third second, bodies are drifting several meters from where they began. Loose objects from every home, street, park, and vehicle rise in a messy, swirling cloud. Keys, tools, chairs, food, clothes, toys, forming a bizarre suspended storm of human belongings. Lakes and fountains bulge upward into shimmering blobs of water. The ocean's surface ripples and begins lifting in oddly shaped domes, held together only by surface tension. In the fourth second, panic fully takes hold. People scream as they lose control over direction. Some float upward through open windows or stairwells. Elevator doors open to reveal empty shafts where people hover helplessly. Kitchen knives, power tools, and shattered glass become deadly drifting hazards. Firefighters, paramedics, pilots. None can do anything but grab onto the nearest anchored structure and hope it holds. In the fifth second, the world becomes unrecognizable. The atmosphere itself begins to shift. Normally held close to the planet by gravity, air starts expanding outward. Winds surge, pressure drops, and oxygen thins. The sky darkens as dust and water droplets scatter sunlight unpredictably. Birds, insects, pollen, everything that relies on air currents drifts in disordered swarms. By the sixth and seventh seconds, the damage compounds. People outside who weren't holding anything now drift dozens of feet above the ground. Trees uproot slightly as soil loosens. Rivers lift into misty veils. Skyscrapers creak as their foundations, engineered for downward force, groan under the sudden absence of weight. Satellites feel the shift too. Earth's tug gone, their orbits twitch imperceptibly. The eighth and ninth seconds stretch into what feels like an eternity. A quietness falls over the world, eerie and surreal, as everyone, human, animal, machine, floats in helpless suspension. Some people are twisting slowly in midair. Others cling to handrails, fences, or door frames with white-knuckled desperation. In these moments, humanity sees a terrifying truth. Without gravity, even briefly, we are fragile, helpless creatures floating in a chaotic soup of debris. Then, at the 10th second, gravity flicks back on, instantly. Everything crashes downward. People who had floated 3 meters drop like stones. Those who rose higher fall with bone-shattering speed. Cars slam back onto pavement, some upside down, some sideways. Furniture crashes through floors. The blobs of suspended water collapse into fountains of chaos. Boats crash into docks. Birds plummet before they can recover. Entire shelves and cabinets spill their contents in explosive showers. Roads become chaotic piles of overturned vehicles, broken glass, and stunned survivors. Hospitals overflow within minutes. Emergency systems struggle against widespread injuries. Broken limbs, collapsed structures, failed machinery. Scientists rush to measure gravitational stability, terrified that the event could repeat. Meteorologists analyze the sudden atmospheric distortions. Governments address panicking nations as billions try to process what they witnessed. In the days that follow, humanity reflects on how 10 seconds changed everything. Architects rethink structural design. Aerospace engineers study how aircraft fell from the sky. Neuroscientists record the psychological trauma of weightlessness and the violent return to Earth. But the more philosophical questions emerge too. What caused the event? A cosmic anomaly? A temporary failure in the laws of physics? A passing gravitational wave? Or something even stranger, something the human mind was never meant to encounter? No one can answer. What everyone does understand is how deeply gravity shapes every breath, every step, every moment of life. The invisible force that once felt mundane now feels sacred. People hold their children closer. They walk more carefully. They look at falling objects with a new respect. Earth feels heavier, yet somehow safer, simply because it holds them down. And in quiet moments, many can't help but wonder, what if it happens again?